Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your girl Sensei, and we are back again with the Sports Senseis. I know you have missed us. I know you've been wondering where we are, but you know we all are very busy and we're on different sides of the world. So sometimes we can't always come together on the times that we want to, but we are here now. We are back, ready to deliver you all the hottest, the new latest sports news like only we can, because where else are you going to get the hottest sports news other than the Sports Senseis? And today's episode, we'll be talking about the WNBA. The new is there a new rivalry brewing between the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces, as well as Asia versus Aaliyah Boston. We'll also get into Chris Paul to the Warriors, as well as Dame possibly joining the Heat, or we also got Bradley Beal joining the Suns. And we got to also talk about the number one pick in the NBA draft. So stay tuned. Keep it locked right here to Sports Senseis. And before you do that, enjoy this cool video. What's up? Hello, it is the Sports Senseis, and we are back to give you all the sports news that you have been missing from your three favorite people in the entire world. I am your host, Sensei, and we also got, of course, my good sisters, my lovely comrades, Ruth the Truth and Jay Nicole. Ladies, it's been so long. How are you doing? Baby? We back in full swing. I'm so excited to be here. Ladies, how have you guys been?
Life been lifing.
Life has been lifing. Listen, life has been lifing. We had all established prior to this that life has hands. Yeah. And we were not prepared for the fight that life has been putting up. But we fighting back, though.
Right. We in the 12th round right now. We
in the 12th round. Listen, knockout, drag out, okay?
I like it.
Good to see y'all, ladies. So much has happened in the sports world since we last got together. How you guys, real quick, I know this wasn't one of our topics, but how you guys feel about the Denver Nuggets right now winning the NBA championship?
Ooh, man.
Shutting down Jimmy Butler in that last game.
Man,
comment on that real quick.
I didn't see that coming. Obviously, that wasn't in my NBA prediction at the start of the season, or even in the middle of the season, or during the playoffs. But as time progressed through the Western Conference playoffs, I was like, "There's no team out there in the NBA that can beat this team," because they just click on a level, and they were just firing on all cylinders. Every other team seemed like they still had some, like there was either a piece missing, or they weren't, playing up to par, or it wasn't all put together when they would come out on the court. And Denver looked like a complete team from start to finish, from the very first series all the way up into the finals. So, I mean, I didn't see it coming, but hey, hats off to Denver, respect to Nikola Jokic and I mean, his season that he had, and all those role players that stepped up for him. I mean, like I said, Denver, they got a squad, man. They're going to be tough for you. If they can keep everybody and continue to play at the level that they played at this year in the playoffs period, they're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out for anybody.
I love how Sensei had no comment on that Lakers tweet.
Yeah,
no
definitely
whatsoever.
Yeah, gonna speed right past that, because what is there to talk about? What is there to talk about? I mean, things happen. Life be lifing, like we said, life be lifing. So we just gonna right on past that.
What about you, Nicole?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't see this coming at all. at all. Just I'm very upset
on the Nuggets name now.
We can, but I'm still mad. Like, really? The Nuggets? Who are you right now? But Jamal Murray, he is him, right? I mean, he came, man, like he balled out. We know, the Joker is the Joker. We already know that. But Jamal Murray balled out. And congratulations to them, right? Nobody saw us coming. It's their first championship, right? The team, the coaching staff, everybody, like they put some respect on their name. They're definitely, I feel like they're going to be the ones to beat in the West next year. So we shall see. But I did not like to sweep my Lakers. I thought after my Lakers rolled past the Warriors, I was like, okay, man, we about to go ahead and handle this. And then all of a sudden, it was just like
they got exposed.
Couldn't keep it together at the end. We be up, and then just nope. They just come, and I was like, okay.
I got a lot of respect for Michael Malone and the Nuggets. The role players played a crucial part on that championship. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, shout out to him coming from the Orlando Magic. Caldwell Pope, Bruce Brown, all of them. I mean, what's that young kid's name? Is it Christian Brown or Braum?
Yep.
You pronounce his name Brown, right? He was fire as well, like rookie, just completely going off and really being a crucial part to that championship run. So yeah, hats off to them. I think they are going to be the team to beat in the West. But we gotta talk about the West right now because
we got listen.
We got some the West right now.
We got some stuff. Yeah, we got some stuff to get into definitely about the NBA and the Western Conference. But right now, I want to start with the WNBA. Right now, the season, of course, it has been kicking off, and we've gotten some pretty fire matchups, some pretty legendary games. But none more legendary than the game that just happened a few days ago between the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces. The Indiana Fever are a young team, up and coming, trying to find their footing, but they got some dogs on that team. And they have, every time they have matched up against the Las Vegas Aces, they have given, even though the Aces have won each matchup, they have still given them a competitive game and a run for their money. So, Jay, I know you and I we spoke about this in the group chat earlier. What were your thoughts on, or what have been your thoughts, I guess, on the past few matchups between the Aces and the Fever? And is this a potential like new rivalry in the WNBA? Like, is this the future? Like, what's going on? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I love it when you got, we're gonna say Gamecock versus Gamecock, Big Sis versus Little Sis, A'ja Wilson versus Aaliyah Boston, like going head to head, like for that in itself, like that to me, them attending the same college and having that, you know what I mean? Like that's the matchup which makes the Fever and the Aces, right? Because we already Aces 12-1 already, so they just they turning champs, they doing their thing. But like to see them battle it out, man. Second quarter, A'ja Wilson goes up and Boston like just holds it and they call jump ball. A'ja's pissed. She's like, nah, what? It was really the foul, right?
But did you see her give her the nod though after a while? Like she was pissed in the initial like aftermath, but she gave her the nod like, okay, like
it's like, all right, bet. But then turn around, what was that, fourth quarter? She snatched the ball out of Aaliyah Boston's hand. Just say that, like, give me this. The fire, the Pat, man, that was into his game. Both of them had 20 plus points, like 13, 14 rebounds. It was a match, man. It was a back and forth. Again, Aces took it 88-80, but I think there is a rivalry brewing for sure. It just because of them, like that's where it starts. It's like, hey, Gamecock versus Gamecock, Big Sis versus Little Sis, let's go. And I loved every minute of it.
Also,
I think what really wraps up the Aces for them probably going on another championship run is that addition of Candace Parker. Like that veteran experience that she's bringing to that roster, I think is really going to be a problem. I mean, they did beat them by 13 points in that last matchup on Saturday. So I would love to say that it's a rivalry, but I really think the Aces are probably going to go all the way because that addition of Candace Parker, A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, like all of them have that veteran experience. Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray's a phenomenal player as well. So as interesting as it would be to consider that a rivalry, I just think that, I mean, it's an interesting topic to speak of these two teams, but the Aces are going back all the way.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I just like I piggyback off Jay Nicole here. It was just very fun and entertaining to see like Gamecock versus Gamecock. Like these are all like I consider all Gamecocks that go through South Carolina to be like Dawn Staley's like children, extended children essentially, and so it's fun to watch them battle head to head. And I love the fact that Aaliyah Boston didn't back down from Asia Wilson. I love that she took it to her. She was aggressive. She didn't look scared. She didn't look timid. She wasn't afraid at the moment. She was like, I'm here. I understand you are who you are, but I am who I am too. Like, you know what I'm saying? We both won championships with South Carolina. And I understand that you were an MVP, you're a 2-time MVP defensive player, like you won a championship, got it. But like I'm trying to state my claim too. And I love the fact that, you know, she came with that firepower and that energy. But I mean, Asia Wilson is Asia Wilson. Like when she locks in completely, it's not too many people in the league that can stop her. And I think that's why I agree with Ruth the Truth. Like I feel like the Aces will eventually repeat this season as far as champions, but still it's fun to see other teams give them competition outside of like the Connecticut Sun or the New York Liberty, which we know that those are stacked teams and those are teams that are going to be tough to beat as well. But to see other teams outside that also give the Aces a run for their money a little bit and kind of put that pressure on them, it makes it more exciting for the league. It makes it more, you know, for as far as like recognition for the league, because it's not the same teams, you know, being in the final running all the time. So I just love to see like good competition. And like I said, Asia is a good sport. Aaliyah Boston also as well is a good sport. And it's just good to see two of the brightest stars in the WNBA like going head to head and like actually guarding each other and being like, it's me or you. Like we understand what we mean to our respective teams, but who's gonna win this battle between you and I? So you know, speaking of that, like the Asia and Aaliyah battle, because you know Asia is obviously the big dog just because she's been in the league for a couple of years, but Aaliyah's kind of, you know, she's making her own way. She's staking her claim right now. Like she's been playing phenomenal as a rookie in the league so far. So Jay, I'm gonna start with you. Like, is this our I'm trying to think of a good WNBA like rivalry comparison. Like maybe like is this like our Diana Taurasi to like Maya Moore, or like Candace Parker to Lisa Leslie, even though I know they played together, but still, like, you know, as far as just like stature in women's basketball, like is Aaliyah versus Asia, like, is that our new version of that, or like is it too premature? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I definitely think it could be. Aaliyah's already up for Rookie of the Year. She's the only WNBA player. I can't even think if it's points, rebounds, leads the rookie. Like she on a tear, and I was kind of like, okay, let me see how she comes in. But she's taking no prisoners. So I mean, I definitely could see it becoming that, right? And like we just said, it's just been fun to watch them in this rivalry. But two-star centers, right? Like we're seeing the, you know, we ain't talking about the point guards, shooting guards, for they are both centers, you know. They're the bigs, and I just love to see it. But yeah, I think definitely it keeps going on like this. Like I said, because I look at them like, hey, you both went to the same college. So I'm like, this big sis, little sis, like, what we got, you know? So
exactly.
that you know, look, y'all know that family rivalry, that sister rivalry, right? Like, sis, like, I love you, but you know,
we gotta go at it. Yeah, we gotta
exactly.
Yeah. So what about you, Ruth? The Truth?
It's been entertaining seeing Aaliyah Boston kind of starting her own path in the WNBA. She's just such an exciting player to watch, and I feel like she learns a lot from Asia Wilson as well. So I think it's a great comparison to, you know, they're kind of similar physicalities and how they kind of hold things down on the court, and they definitely got that dog in them. So
for sure,
it's really interesting to watch. The WNBA is just
on fire,
really popping off right now.
Yeah, it's on fire.
The Phoenix Mercury are 2-11 right now. Like,
they are real bad.
Diana Taurasi is trying to kind of like, you know, she's obviously most likely going to retire after this season. We thought she was all going to retire last year.
She should retire after this season. And I'm a Diana Taurasi fan. Like, that's my goat. But yeah, it's over. It's over.
It's over.
Let the young guns do what they do, man. Like you had your time. You, like I said, she has submitted her status in basketball allure, as far as I'm concerned. So like, there's nothing else that you need to accomplish. Like, go ahead, just walk it off.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Phoenix Mercury, honestly, they have a lot of different issues they have to address. They just fired their coach. We don't know the status of Skylar Diggins-Smith, if she's coming back to the team, because I know she just had a baby not too long ago. So is she planning on coming back? Is she trying to go somewhere else? Like, there's a lot going on, and then, you know, ingratiating Brittany Griner back into there's a lot going on with Phoenix right now. But I'll definitely say it's like, as far as like the Asia versus Aaliyah thing, I love to see it. I think it's great for the league. And I know both of them as competitors probably appreciate the fact that they have been bringing the best out of each other so far. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, in all the matchups, they've all been close games. You know what I'm saying? Like, they, you know, even though they lost by 13, they lost by 13 points the other day, like, still, that was a hard-earned 13 points that the Aces had to separate between the Indiana and the Fever, because they were giving them work for the first 3 quarters. It was like, it was right here, and Indiana wasn't backing down. But I think it's great to see. Like, I think they definitely could be the next great rivalry between Asia and Aaliyah. But I'm still mad at Indiana for letting Destiny Henderson go. I'm not over that, because I just feel like she should have got a better chance and more of a fair shake with that situation. But I'm not a GM, so I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't say too much, but I'm glad that she got another opportunity with the Sparks. But moving on from the WNBA here, let's talk about the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, Mr. Victor. Is it Wembanyama, or how do you
Wembanyama?
Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm still trying to learn how to say his name all the way.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about? Sure. Yeah, Wemby for sure. What do you guys
Wemby
about kind of what his success story is going to be, or like, what is your prediction for him in the league? Like, essentially, like, do we think he's going to come in and completely dominate? Yeah. Is there a possibility that he could be a bust? Like, what do you guys think?
I'm not going to say that he's going to be a bust, but his body stature kind of concerns me a little bit. I'm really hoping that what was that OKC Thunder player that got hurt like before the season even started? I think he was like the 2nd round pick from last year. I can't remember, but he went to the OKC Thunder and ended up getting hurt before the season even started because he didn't really have that physical build. And you're going into a man's league. Like, I understand that he's been dominating in these overseas leagues that he's been playing in, but I just think Victor has a high ceiling with his 7'3" body stature, but I think 7'5", like that
7'5" is
freakish, my man. Like, I mean, how are you even that tall? Like, it's gonna be interesting. I think he's going to a great organization with the Spurs, and Pac's gonna know what to do with him. Greg Popovich, but I don't know. I think his body stature, his physicality kind of worries me, because he's going into a man's league, a very dominating physical league. So it's going to be interesting to see, but he's definitely got potential. I mean, he's got handles, he's got a shot. He is amazing with his floor work. He sees the court really well. So I'm excited to see. I think the Spurs are going to be able to mold him into the player that they need.
Yeah. I mean, I'm over here representing. They in my city, San Antonio, Spurs. So it is like Wemby mania. Like, this is like San Antonio is going crazy. They like, we got the next Tim Duncan. We building everything around Wemby. I'm excited. I'm excited. For the Spurs. I'm excited to see what Wemby can do. I mean, right, 7'5". That's just freakish, right? He has a 8-foot wingspan. They showed him like in the jersey just making shots. I'm like, the boy literally just takes the ball and just like a basket shot. Like, dude, do you even have to jump? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to see. Like, man, we ain't seen nobody this tall in a minute. But yes, he is thin in frame, which, I mean, Kevin Durant's shorter, but it just kind of reminds me of that same thing. And it's like, hey, we want to see you bulk up, right? We want to see you bulk up so you can get
bye, Jay. Goodbye, Jay.
Jay said take him to Golden Corral.
Jay.
Take him to the weight room. What you mean? He needs to be in that weight room.
Yeah. I would
protein 6 times a day.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren, thank you, Dylan. I'm glad that we were on the same page.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren. Yeah. Okay, so I have mixed emotions about it, because a part of me is like, kind of like the whole KD thing, because the same criticism that he's getting right now is the same criticism that KD got. You're too skinny. You're you're tall. That's fine, but you're too skinny. The game's physical. You're gonna get banged around. You're gonna get hurt. You know, you need to put some muscle on. This, and this. KD did none of those things, and he's still KD, and he's still successful. But on the flip side of it, it makes me think of a case like a Greg Oden, who was around that same, like he wasn't as tall as far as like Victor is, like he wasn't as tall, but the body frame was the same. Like the getting to the rim was the same, the blocking shots, the offensive touch around touch around the basket, like all of those things were the same, but he couldn't stay healthy. So it's like there's just this. We've seen more horror stories than we see success stories as far as his body type and frame and skill set. If he can stay healthy and he can go through the duration of the league and continue to develop, I think he'll be okay. It's just that if factor of are those things going to fall in place for him? So I'm not going to jump the gun completely and say that he's transitional or that he's generational or that he's going to be the next whomever, because that's a lot to put on a kid. He's essentially still
19.
a kid.
He's 19.
So
wow, he's so young.
He's so young. So like I don't want to jump the gun too early because, and I, you know what I'm saying, this is my goal, but I have to just give this example. Everybody ain't Bron. Like everybody's not going to come into the league being prepared to dominate. Like Bron is just a rare breed, a rare case. Everybody ain't going to have that. And it's just like, I don't know if that is something that he has until I see it. I can probably tell you in the first 20 games what kind of player he's going to be.
Yeah.
Outside of injury. Like if barring that he don't get injured, I could tell you what kind of player he's going to be. But right now, it's really hard to say because like I said, we don't have a good, I mean, we have a sample size of him in another league, but you're playing against the Giannis, the Jokic, the Embiids. Like you're playing against those guys every single night. The Anthony Davis, like, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him against that kind of competition yet. So I can't really give you a proper assessment. Like I hope the best for him. I don't wish ill, but it's just like, I'm not going to jump the gun and say that he is the greatest things to slice bread. Like I'm just not ready to.
And people have been talking about him for a while now. I think it's like over a year that they've been talking about and kind of building up that momentum from him entering the league. And Sports Illustrated said the Frenchman officially stands at 7'3.5" without his shoes on. The Spurs has confirmed today. So 7'3.5" without shoes on. So with sneakers on, he's pushing like 7'5", almost 7'6", which is insane to think about. But yeah, that 8-foot wingspan, man, it's going to be exciting to watch. I'm excited to see what he accomplishes with the Spurs. I mean, he kind of reminds me of a Bol. And I mean, we're seeing Bol go off. Yeah, like he's got some great,
same thing.
Same thing. So, but I mean, his health was up and down. So it's going to be interesting to see.
And that's why, again, like that's why I say like it's just I can't just give him all that yet. Just because, like you said, like another Bol, like same thing. Like he had the same kind of hype coming out. He's tall, he can shoot, he can defend, he can this, but that frame and he couldn't hold up. Like everybody can't hold up. Like there are rare breeds that are just generational talents. Like I said, the Brons, the KDs, the Stephs, like those guys are those guys for a reason. Like they are chosen ones. I can't give you a proper assessment and say that Victor's going to be a chosen one because I got to see it. Like, I mean, granted, like he's so far up to this point. Yes, he's been great. I need to see it against NBA talent.
Yeah,
because I think the best league in the world.
We'll get a little taste in the summer league. I think a slight little taste,
and I'm looking forward to that.
And absolutely.
The Spurs. Speaking of the summer league, we have the Cal Classic out at the Sacramento Kings Arena that's coming up as well, and so he will actually be playing in that in one of those tournament games out here. So I'll get to see him in person, so I can even give you a better assessment at that point because I'll get to see him actually put eyes on him myself.
That's awesome.
So just be on the lookout for that because I definitely will be reporting about that. But I'm anxious. Like I said, I love to see new talent, you know what I'm saying, come into the league and do their thing. So we'll see what happens. But off of the NBA draft picks, there has been shenanigans afoot in the NBA. Shenanigans afoot in the NBA.
Straight up shenanigans. Like
there have been trades, there have been rumors, there have been all of these teams.
A lot of head scratchers.
A lot of head scratchers that doesn't make sense. And speaking of head scratchers,
here we go.
Let's get into the tippiest of the head scratcher. Chris Paul to the Golden State Warriors.
Why?
Listen, if there's a list of things in my life that don't make sense, and I feel like that's a top 3 thing in my life that makes no sense in the world. Because let me just, for the people who don't know, let me give you guys a little backdrop, okay? Steph Curry and Chris Paul have been at each other's throats for the past decade at least, okay? Draymond even came out publicly on a podcast and said, I do not like this guy.
Oh my gosh. So let's put him in the same locker room.
The same Draymond that punched a teammate in the face for less. What made you think this? Listen, I have my own opinion, but listen, Ruth, the truth, please take it away, because what in the world?
I mean, I said the same thing when I saw that Chris Paul was making a move to the Wizards. I got excited. I thought, okay, I think I like that fit for him to be in Washington. A young roster, he can come in there and kind of lead that team to maybe a first round in the playoffs. Who knows? But when they made that U-turn and busted him to Golden State, I'm just like, wait a minute. I thought one of Golden State's problems was the lack of youth that they had on that roster. And now they're going to add a 38-year-old that is on the downward trajectory of his career. Like, how is that going to fit? I mean, Draymond has already come out publicly that he don't like the guy. Chris Paul, CP3 doesn't know how to hold his tongue. I feel bad for Steve Kerr. Like, how he's going to manage that locker room, I don't know. God be with him. He needs a lot of prayers. He needs a therapist on deck. It's going to be a lot of, maybe they need to do like a Warriors retreat where they can just all like go somewhere fun and like go swimming or something, go on like a getaway to kind of see if they can mesh before the season starts. But I think it's going to be drama. I feel bad. I think Golden State, I think that dynasty is coming to a close. I really do.
Jay, go ahead before I go, please.
So here we go. So Clay, okay, so first, yes, Draymond was like, don't like him, hate him, I don't know. Exactly. He punched Poole for less, right? Okay. Clay said, it's gonna be real weird because we battled CP3 a lot. But I think he can be a calming presence, give some leadership. Steph said, he's glad to have him, but somehow we're gonna have to figure out how he's gonna work into our system, our process, but we'll figure it out. Like, he's a good player. Like, now he coming off with the second unit, right? So Steph's getting the rest, and he's coming off with the second unit. If that's what they're trying to do, I mean, you got rid of Jordan Poole because, hey, face it, him and Draymond, we had to stick it up for a year, but we had to get rid of him. But yeah, I don't know why it would make sense to get a 38-year-old injury prone.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why with Dylan saying stability, I don't know where he's coming with that. What was the point
of that? Like, just, Chris Paul just made, hey, happening, maybe the Warriors got one less thing, I could get a ring over here. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. They need bigs. Like, the reason they lost to the Lakers because they need bigs. Like, what are you doing?
They should have got Porzingis.
Right. What are y'all doing? I don't know who in the organization who thought what, where. I mean, is Draymond gonna leave? Like, is it gonna be them? I mean, I've been seeing little flurries of him to the Kings. I don't know how this is all going.
Keep him over there. Keep him over there. We don't keep him over there.
You want the problems?
No. Keep him over there.
That would make your job so much more fun, though. Like, having to deal with Draymond.
No,
like that would be entertainment on deck.
Because then 100%. What happens when he fire on Keegan Murray? It's gonna be a problem. No.
She said, I don't want them over here in my dynamic. Nope. No. We looking good over here.
Keep him over there.
We took the Warriors to Game 7, so we doing something right.
All we can
light the beam, baby. Light the beam.
Listen, period. Okay? I understand that. Know that. But listen. Okay. So
I don't understand why Dylan said that CP3, Dylan in the comments said that CP3 provides stability. Like, where? The man's been hurt in crucial times. I know that he tries to play through injury, but I think it does more hurt than helps the team. So I don't see stability with Chris Paul. I mean, 38 years old. He's not LeBron James, who's going to be probably playing till he's 40. Like, I think after this season, it's going to be a wrap.
It's as it should be. Here's the thing. few things with this whole move that I don't understand. First of all, like you said, Ruth, how you mentioned 38, injury prone, can't count on them when you need them. Another thing is ego, because you now have to play behind the very guy you've been competing against for over a decade. Yep. And this man, Stephen Curry, has embarrassed Chris Paul so many times. We all remember the baseline crossover. Ooh. We all remember the last year when he bumped, when he got the N1 on Chris Paul and said, "This ain't 2014 no more." We all remember those epic Warriors Clippers playoff series where Steph got the better of CP every single time. Steph is also a 4-time champion to Chris Paul's 0. On top of the fact that he provides stability in the fact that, yes, he can play point guard and facilitate the offense, and he doesn't require the ball as much, but he's also a cone on defense, which the Warriors have a few cones on defense. On top of the fact that, I don't know about y'all, but for me, if you have to question or have to make work my presence, I'm not comfortable in that space. I don't want to go somewhere where everybody's like, I mean, well, you know, we ain't really rock with each other before, but I guess we're gonna figure it out. Don't guess with me. No, for sure. Like, I don't need a guessing game. Like, either it's gonna work or it's not. And that's what the part of it that concerns me about the Warriors is the fact that they're all like, well, we just got to figure it out. This ain't KD, bro. KD just want to hoop and go home.
Yeah.
Chris Paul wants to be at the center. So I'm concerned. I'm sorry, I'm concerned.
Yeah. There's a lot of concerning flags with that. But as Dylan said in the comments, the Warriors could just be plotting to be moving CP3. But I think he's going to be hard to move for pieces that are actually going to add, you know, some great offense to the roster. Like, I don't know. I think it's a weird move, but the Warriors have been a dynasty for how long now? They have how many championships? So we'll see what they, you know, can make of the CP3 trade. But I guess they just really wanted to move on from Jordan Poole that bad, which is kind of, it's terrible to say, because it's like they gave him such a great contract and then he just didn't show up for them at all in the playoffs, and just the inconsistency was bad.
That too. And here's the thing too, real quick, like, that I want to point out with the Jordan Poole situation is the fact that the trust was broken the very minute that video came out.
Yeah, it was bad.
He was never going to be the same player. Once that video hits the internet and it's up for discussion, that changed everything. Because it's different if it's just like if we're all together and if something happens between us, if it's just internal, it's different if something happens between us and we put it out to the world, and then the world gets to dissect it and give opinions, and then you got family giving opinions, and you got all this, you know what I'm saying, this energy coming at you, and you're a young guy. Like, it was never going to be the same the moment that video hit the internet. Never. And you could tell he didn't play the same way. He wasn't as confident. It wasn't the same guy from last year. He was not the same guy. And I mean, I think that's because of, again, ego. And at the same time, he's embarrassed. Like, he got slept on, like, and that was on a national scale. Like, that was on ESPN for weeks.
He got dropped.
Like, Twitter for weeks, Instagram for weeks. Like, every time he'd messed up and didn't play well, that was the highlight. Like, that was something that was being put out constantly that he has to see. So that situation, like, they had no choice other than to trade him. I just don't understand trading him for a 38-year-old point guard who cannot stay healthy. That's the part that baffles my mind. Trading him, fine, or getting rid of him, fine. Because listen, there was no repair. Like, there's no coming back from that. I'm sorry, it just isn't. If you hit me in the face and everybody sees it, there's not gonna be no coexisting. Unless I get my lick back. you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, I don't know what the Warriors' direction is. Maybe, but then it's like, also you got to consider too, if you keep Chris Paul for the entirety of the year and it don't work, that's a year off of Steph's prime. Steph is still playing at a Steph level.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take a backseat a year of Steph take a year Steph off to like what is the? I just don't understand. I guess the future direction that they're trying to go in is what's confusing to me. I don't know how you guys feel, but that just is mind boggling to me.
And where was Klay Thompson as well? Like he's not he didn't play like himself either last season. He hasn't really been the same since coming back from injury. So Warriors got a lot. They got a lot. They got a lot of things to fix, to put together, but we'll see. We'll see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, what's the Jay? You have any last thoughts on that whole situation?
I agree with both of you wholeheartedly, and we just gonna have to see. We really just gonna have to see. I mean, I kind of wanted to see Draymond make a move because I'm like, go somewhere if you really can't send CP3. But I'm really curious to see how this is all going to pan out. And we just gotta wait and see. But we all agree it was a horrible move. We don't understand it. Like it makes no sense whatsoever. Again, Warriors, you need bigs. You need this is why you can to the Lakers. It doesn't make sense. It's like you don't need another point guard. You don't need an injury prone point guard. You don't need a 38-year like none of it at every level point way, you know. But I mean, I guess that too. I was seeing things about the contract, and they're like, okay, well, it was better like moving off the pool with the contract, right? And like you only have to deal with Chris Paul for a year, so they're like, But it's like, again, like you said, it's a year wasted. Like Steph is still in his prime. To be honest, I was watching something they were talking about, do you move from Klay too? Because Steph still has, could you get another piece for Klay, get some other parts and give Steph another, championship
run at it.
Yep.
So
but I agree.
We'll see. I listen, I also can't wait for the very first time that Steph and Chris Paul get into it, because it's coming. You know it's coming. Chris Paul's gonna do something, or Steph is gonna take something's gonna happen. Where them two are gonna. Also, I can't wait to see Chris Paul and Draymond get into it. That's gonna be fun. I cannot wait. Myself personally.
If we thought the Jordan Poole situation was bad with Draymond
might body slam Chris Paul. He might body slam Chris Paul. Like he might literally pick him up and throw him down. Like. It's gonna be a good time. Warriors fans, you deserve this. Anyway,
buckle up.
Buckle up. So speaking of trades or possibility of trades, let's get into Dame Lillard, Mr. Dame Time himself, possibly joining Jimmy Butler in Sunnyside, Florida, in the Miami Heat. Do you guys think that this is a good move? Do you guys think that this is something that Dame should do? Or should he look otherwise, or stay in Portland? Jay Nicole, I will start with you.
I'm all for it. I love Jimmy Buckets. You saw what he was able to do with a bunch of undrafted players, right? The will to win. Dame comes in there and changes the whole freaking game. I mean, you want to see Dame. Dame's been loyal to the Blazers, right? He's tried to stick with them time and time out. I mean, he still has not come out and said and demanded a trade, right? And then the Blazers are still talking. Oh yeah, yesterday we still want to build around him, but with what? With who? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. With who you gonna get for what? And does another star want to go to Portland? No, like I don't. You know what I mean? So I mean, if this is, I was hearing that Miami is, one of the places he would actually like to go. So it's like, right, send him somewhere. He's been loyal to y'all. He's taking care of you. He's played his heart out. Send him somewhere where he actually has a chance to get a championship. I love.
Oh, wait, we got exclusive word here. Check this out.
Oh yeah.
Draymond Green and Dame is meeting tonight. Just got word.
Ooh.
Draymond to Portland.
Shake it up.
Livewire, shout out for the info.
Yes, for the exclusive. Appreciate you. But go ahead, Jay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just happened to see that.
No, that would be very interesting. But Draymond going to Portland is not enough for them to get a championship.
No,
not at all. So that's you know what I mean. You gonna stick around for another year? I think. Dame, you have to move at this point. Portland cannot offer you anything more, and I would love nothing other than to see you with Jimmy Buckets and really have a shot to win the East and get a title. You deserve it. You've been loyal. He's got that old school loyalty that you saw back in the 90s. People didn't jump teams, super teams, all this stuff, right? He does, and we appreciate you for that. But we are not putting any pieces around you or enough pieces around you to have a viable shot. For them not to even make the playoffs this year, the play-in, not that many years ago, they was, some type of contenders. I mean, once they traded CJ McCollum, right? Like, to me, I was like, you right when you did that, it was like he was your number 2, but you, really gave up on that. So I don't really, Yeah, I mean, I would love to see him with Jimmy Buckets. I think they could be a dynamic duo, and have a chance to win the ring.
Yeah, so the Blazers went and picked up Scott Henderson with that third round, with that third pick overall. So the rumors are they're trying to move Dame to build around Scott Henderson. So I mean, if Dame were to end up to move, I think Miami would be a great landing spot for Damian Lillard. I think him and Jimmy Butler, maybe move Tyler Hero, get another big man to help them out, to help out Bam, so he's not always taking that center pressure. I would love Dame to come to the East Coast, but he's so loyal. Like, I don't know if he's gonna want to meet, if he's gonna end up leaving Portland, because he's just been so adamant on staying there and bringing a championship to Oregon. But I mean, last year's flop. I mean, we didn't hear about Dame time all season, like barely, wasn't in the highlights for no. So, and he was injured. He's doing too much over there in Portland. So if they're not going to build around him, then he's got to be on the move. And I think Miami is a very nice, beautiful. They are the Celtics. I think Miami or the Celtics would be a really, really interesting fit for Dame.
Post that last comment, Ruth. Post that last comment we just got. Insane, and I could definitely see it happening. Dame, for sure, he has to get out of Portland. If he wants to act like a real crack at a championship, he has to leave Portland. It's not happening in Portland. You're not getting any free agents to go to Portland. Nobody wants to play in Portland. Let's keep it all the way honest. He needs to leave in order for him to have a legitimate shot. And I get the whole loyalty thing. Loyalty is fine, but it's fine as long as it's not one-sided. And I feel like it's very one-sided when it comes to Portland, because he's loyal to them, but I don't feel like they're loyal to him in the same sense, because they're not doing enough to put an actual contender around him. It's kind of like it's allied the LeBron and Cleveland situation. Essentially, like, they can't get anybody to come, and they're not really actively doing enough. They're just saying, look, you're talented enough. You know what I'm saying? You have the potential to be one of the greats. We feel like you and some role players is enough. No, sir, it is not. Not in today's NBA. You need at least a star or two on a championship team in order to get it done. Or you need a star and role players who are locked into their roles to the point where they know, this is what I need to do every single night. This is what I need to bring every single night. And the Portland Trail Blazers just don't have that. And you can't expect Damian Lillard, who's been in the game for so long, to mesh with Scoot Henderson automatically and that be a championship team. It's not going to happen like that. It doesn't work like that. Like, he's going to need time to develop. Dame doesn't have time. He don't have time. Like, he's going into the latter part of his career. So if he's going to make a move, it has to be now, because if he waits any longer, that window is going to get smaller and smaller as far as the opportunity for a championship. So I like him to Miami. I like him with Jimmy Butler as well, because it takes the pressure off of him. Jimmy can, lock in and play defense. Dame could be obviously we know Jimmy can score, but Dame could be focused more consistently on being a scorer. And obviously, that in that system, Dame's going to play defense as well. But, he can just be free, like how KD was with the Warriors. Like, he could just go in there and hoop. Like, he don't got to be the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? And so I like him to Miami, but if they can get him and Dre in Miami with Jimmy Butler, that's nasty.
Yeah, but who do they give up? Who do they give up to be able to bring Dame and Draymond?
I think how you mentioned, like, Tyler Hero, they probably would have to give up Tyler Hero.
Kyle Lowry got to go.
Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, or Caleb Martin gonna have to go. One of the two. I don't think both of them would have to go, but at least one of them.
I want them to keep Gabe Vincent, if anything. I
like Gabe. Yeah,
I think
they can keep Gabe. Yeah, I think they can keep Gabe.
For sure. I mean, just last little thing on Portland as well. I mean, not for nothing, but when Dame was in his prime, why do you go get a coach that has never coached in the NBA before? And Chauncey Billups, like, you want to build around him, and then you're going to bring in a rookie head coach. Like, it just, no disrespect to Chauncey, but they should have went and got somebody.
Becky Hammond. I'm gonna say it. Becky Hammond, because she had experience coaching the NBA team and did pretty well for herself when she had to sub in for Pop. They should have got Becky Hammond. Just saying.
Leave it at that. Yeah. Drop the mic.
A proven coach. Like, if we're going to talk about coaches that have been, like, a proven coach who's been an assistant to Greg Popovich, a guy that we consider one of the greatest coaches of all time. Been an assistant, filled in for him a numerous of times. Summer League, won the Summer League championship. Like, had the rapport with the NBA players. Come on, man. If there's any female outside of Dawn Staley that deserves a shot to coach an NBA team, it's Becky Hammon.
Absolutely.
But, she interviewed with them and they turned my good sis down, but it's okay. She with the Aces, so it's all good.
Right.
Last but not least, Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns to play with KD and Devin Booker. The no defense team has assembled. Jokes. But honestly, Ruth the Truth, I'm going to go with you first. What do you think about Bradley Beal going to the Phoenix Suns, and what do you feel about their title chances with him, KD, and Book?
Okay, will I necessarily say that it was a bad move? No. But will I say that they're a championship caliber team now? That's questionable. I mean, Bradley Beal, 30 years old, still has a lot of gas in the tank. I think he's going to be an interesting fit with Book and KD. But it's like, what are they going to do with DeAndre Ayton? Because I think they need to move on from that piece for sure. I think moving Chris Paul was very interesting. Who did they get in that trade? Who did the Wizards get in that trade when it was Chris Paul it was like a 3-way trade?
Chris Paul,
Bradley Beal went to the Suns, Chris Paul to the Warriors.
What is his name? What is his name? It's like Shamit something. Like, I don't know if that's his first name or last name, but it's like, it's like SHAMET. I can't think of it. I don't.
Nonetheless, I think that for Phoenix to really be a competitor in the West, they got to get a dependable center, and I don't think DeAndre Ayton is that. So I think as long as they can move on from him and kind of fill that void, I think they have an opportunity to go to maybe a Western Conference final. But you already know that Book is hungry, and KD's got something to prove. So I think Bradley Beal is going to be an interesting fit.
Dylan just said it. Landry Shamet.
Landry Shamet. Okay, thank you.
That went to the Wizards. I knew
he's been all over the place. Yeah. Shamet's been on like 9 different NBA rosters.
Yeah,
all over the place. But yeah, I love Bradley Beal. I love his style of play. I love his enthusiasm on the court. He's a great offensive player. Doesn't really play elite defense, which I feel like the Phoenix Suns were missing. So I mean, to get through a team like the Nuggets, I don't think that they've done enough, but it's still early in the offseason. So it's going to be interesting how they're going to put that roster together at the end of the day. But I like the move for Bradley Beal. I think he needed to get away from Washington, like as we mentioned in the last segment. For Dame to get a championship, it was probably going to have to be without Portland. And same thing with Bradley Beal. For him to be able to make a nice playoff run, it wasn't going to be with the Washington Wizards. So I like the move.
Yes. What about you, Jay Nicole? What you think?
Interesting move. I think.
Jesus Christ, Dylan! Tell us how you really feel.
I really feel this ain't softer than fine. Great Ayton. I think it was an interesting move. Having CP3 not be there, I feel now Booker can take over the lead of the team and be the true leader of the team and really guide them, because KD's just like, he don't got that personality to lead a team. So I think he's just there. He'll play his thing. Bill comes in, knows his role, and understands that this is Devin Booker's team and he is the leader. I mean, on paper, it's a nice big 3, right? But will they really be able to contend with the Denver Nuggets? Will they? I mean, if the Lakers come back, keep their pieces intact, I still feel like even Lakers are still over them. It'll be interesting. I mean, I think they had to make a move. They had to move from CP3. They're like, let's get another star player, right? And so, hey, they looked around the league and was like, what do we got? Cool, let's throw this together. You fired Monty Williams though, and I mean, I know they didn't get where they were supposed to.
I didn't like that move.
I didn't like that either.
I didn't like that at all.
I didn't like that either.
I mean, didn't he just win Coach of the Year the season
literally
before?
And I'm not a fan. Just
because they didn't get to where you thought they were, right? It was like, we're going to just throw him away. Like, he ain't got the
Right? I wonder if that was like a KD thing. If KD had like some play on that, because
I don't think it is though, because I think it's one of those things where it's just such a win now league. Like there's no patience in the NBA anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's no time to develop coaches or develop players. Like if you're not doing it within a year or two, they're looking to move on from you. And like it's just unfortunate because Monty Williams is such a good coach, and like he didn't have the horses down the race. Like think about if that championship year, if they have a healthy CP3, things might have been different. You know what I'm saying? Think about last year, if they had a healthy this last NBA season, if they had a healthy CP3, things might have been different. Like, so how can you put that onus off on? Like, it's not all him. Like, I hated that move. But
they moved on to the Frank Vogel, right?
Vogel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason he got a championship is because you have LeBron, you have AD go off. That ain't got nothing to do with Frank Vogel. You
not at all.
LeBron was coaching that team.
All.
Literally, like I could have coached the team and we would have won a championship. Like come on, you got two of the top 75 players in the world on your. Come on, cut it out.
Seriously, yeah, that was.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like with Phoenix, a few things. Yes, I feel like this is an upgrade for the simple fact that Bradley Beal is younger and more durable than CP3. But he don't play defense, and neither does CP3. And Devin Booker don't play defense either. And KD is just tall. Like he don't really play. He's just tall. So like he's gonna automatically get blocked shots because he's just that big. Like he's that tall. But they have to. I agree with Jay. Like they got to move on from DeAndre Ayton because he's always gonna be their Achilles heel. He's always gonna be a hindrance because he just does not play hard consistently enough
in the paint.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's not somebody who dominate as he should be. Because if you look at him physically, you're thinking like, man, you should be like, I mean, not, everybody ain't going to be Shaq, but like towards those kind of numbers, like a young Dwight, a Giannis, like you should be in that conversation. And he just does not give that to you every night because once he gets into one of his fits or has an attitude, you can cancel it. It's over with. He ain't going to play hard. He ain't going to give no effort. I will never forget that play is forever etched in my mind where he literally watched Jokic get the rebound 4 times and stood there. And looked, and when they asked him about it, and he said, "What do y'all want me to do? Give some effort. What you mean? What do you want me to do? Like
what you get paid to do?
Right? Hello, you getting paid millions of dollars. Like you should be at least trying to box him out. You watched that man tip the ball to himself 4 times. Like you watched that happen, and then on top of that, they don't have a bench. So what happens when KD and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker need rest? Who are you bringing off the bench that's going to be able to sustain that?
Like how are you? Torrey Craig, maybe they went and got Terrence Ross, Damian Lee.
Now Damian Lee, I will give you Damian Lee, and he need to be thanking his lucky stars that he got married to Steph Curry's sister.
I know, right?
But what I will say about him is he's a 3-and-D guy for sure. Like he can knock down shots. Like he's definitely a guy who can put the ball in the basket. Like he can create his own shot, and he also is good off the dribble and off the catch and shoot. But can he lead the second unit? That's yet to be seen. He hasn't really been put in that position for us to know whether that's something that he needs to do or that he can do. Not even needs to do, but if that's something that he can do. So that's yet to be seen. I just feel like they need to get maybe 1 or 2 people to come off the bench, like 3-and-D guys that like I said, how the Nuggets have it, like they know their roles, they know what they're there to do. They need a couple more of those guys, and I feel like they could be in more of a contention. But as their team currently constructed right now, I still feel like they're behind the Lakers and the Nuggets and even like even Golden State, because you can't count them out as long as they got Steph. Like we can never count out Golden State as long as they got Steph. So I mean, I still feel like they're a couple steps behind, but it's definitely gonna be interesting to see for sure. Like I'm interested to see how Bradley Beal flows in with KD and Devin Booker, because now you can't take 20 plus shots a game. You got 2 other guys who gonna need the ball as well. It's one basketball. So how are they gonna make that work? I mean, we'll see.
It was interesting to see Devin Booker and Kevin Durant in the Bahamas taking some shots. So they're trying to get some camaraderie between between those two. So
you got 2 introverts. Like, how's that work? And who talks first? Like, who initiates the conversation? Like, are like y'all just staring at each other? Like, what's up, bro? Like, you trying to shot real quick? You trying to like how does that even work? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens. Real quick, I know that was supposed to be our last topic, but I do want to throw this in there because this is something I thought about. What do you guys think about Marcus Smart to the Memphis Grizzlies?
Ooh. I didn't like the move. I don't think the Celtics should have moved on from Marcus Smart. I didn't like it at all. I mean, defensive player of the year. The guy's got heart. He's the reason why you guys made it to an NBA Finals the year before. Yeah, I was really shocked to see that. Now, are they just trying to alleviate some cap space so they can play Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Maybe, I don't really know, but I didn't like the move to the Grizzlies. I think Smart kind of deserved a little bit more respect than moving him that quick. So I don't like the move at all.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, no, I feel like he was like the heart, the soul, the energy pumper to get going. I'm like, you don't let a guy like that go. Seemingly is why the Warriors have kept Draymond for so long, right? Like he's the hype, the energy, and that's what I felt like Marcus Smart was. And I'm like, wow, y'all just dissed him. If anything, kind of going back and forth when they've always been like, oh, do we move Brown? Do we, Tatum's the real superstar or whatever? That would have been like, but it's like it didn't really make sense at all. And then for Porzingis, like, is that going to be a good fit? Like,
that's interesting.
I don't know, and it is because Porzingis is very injury prone as well. Like when we talk about injury prone, like he's very when he's available, definitely he definitely brings a lot more to any situation that he's been in. But it's just like if it's the if factor. Like I can't hinge my success off of if. Like I need a sure shot, and he's not always a sure shot. I was very shocked that Boston decided to move on from Marcus Smart, honestly, because like both of you guys alluded to, he's definitely the heart and soul of the Boston Celtics teams. He is the Draymond of the Celtics essentially, and he's kept like when everything seemed to fall apart, he was kind of the glue that kept everything together.
Yep.
So the fact that they moved on from him was very surprising. I thought that they would maybe try to break up the tandem between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum first before getting rid of a role player that has such significance like a Marcus Smart. But hell of a pickup for the Grizzlies because they need maturity. They need a veteran in there who is not impressed by the glitz and the glamours and the lights and all the flashes. They need somebody that's going to hold them accountable and say, hey, look, we have a certain standard of excellence. We want to be successful. This is what it takes. Because Marcus Smart has been to the finals. Nobody on the Grizzlies has been to the finals. None of them. Like they haven't even made it to the Western Conference Finals. So it's like that is a hell of a pickup for them. And I think that that's going to be something that elevates them as a team because you always need that veteran leadership. And Marcus Smart is going to be able to bring that too, especially for a guy like Ja. Like Dylan Brooks wasn't going to get it done. I'm sorry, he just wasn't going to.
He's gone already, right?
Yeah, he is. But I'm just saying, like if you're going for players like that, like that's not going to be the thing that's going to tip you over the top because essentially they got the same mindset. Ain't nobody learning from nobody because we learning at the same pace. But Marcus Smart is like a guy who he's been to the finals, he's been deep in the playoffs, he's played against Steph Curry, he knows what it takes, what the win is, and what separates the wins and the losses, and what it takes to be a constant professional. And I think that's something that's going to help the Grizzlies. So hell of a pickup for them, but that's going to be a hell of a loss for Boston. A hell of a loss.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dylan said in the comments, I don't think Porzingis was worth getting rid of Marcus Smart. So I think that's gonna end up burning them at the end. But as we're speaking on the Grizzlies, I never really got to talk to you ladies about that whole Ja Morant 25-game suspension. Do you guys agree or disagree? How is that going to affect the start of their season?
Go ahead, Jay.
Ja. Like all I can really say is you're stupid for putting yourself in that position to even, what I mean?
Why are you even talking about it?
Already, bro. Like, why you even, and now it's like, oh, is it too much? Not enough, whatever. But it's like, bro, why you even put yourself in this position, man? You're making millions and millions of dollars, bro. Showing a gun on Instagram, whatever you do, it ain't worth it, man. You better than this, bro. Like, to be honest, I don't have a problem with it because I just am like, you got dealt with what you got dealt with. You didn't learn your first time, but we sure as hell gonna make sure you learn this second time. And so,
yes, ma'am.
You put yourself in that position, and that's what I'm upset about. So however many games they gave you is however many games they gave you, and okay, I'm gonna use this time in the off season.
Man, look.
I'm gonna be keeping up and working out and this, but bro, like you let the team up for even your shenanigans, bro. Like, come on, man. You Ja Morant, bro. Be better. Do better, right? So it is what it is. I'm like, you get what you get, bro. And hopefully, you get your act together. And...
So do you think 25 games was like a little bit of a reach for Adam Silver to do, or do you think that it was well deserved 25 games? Because a lot of people are just like, 25 games is too much. Like, what are they thinking? Like, he didn't break any laws, this, that, and the third. What do you think about the amount of games?
I think the amount of games is appropriate for a couple of different reasons. One, you already had a chance to rectify this situation. They gave you 8 games. They gave you a leeway to say, hey, go to Florida for a couple of days. Calm your ass down. We're going to give you 8 games. And all his endorsers was like, we still going to endorse you. We still going to be behind you. On top of the fact that you also lost out on your bonuses because you did not meet the requirements because of said suspension. So that should have said in your mind, hey, maybe I should relax. Maybe I should not listen to NBA Youngboy. Maybe I should not flash a gun on an Instagram Live, whether it's mine or somebody else's.
Yeah.
Maybe I should understand that you do not just represent Ja Morant. See, everybody likes to pull he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything illegal. Fine. If it's us, understood. Mm-hmm. We don't represent the NBA. We don't represent Nike. We don't represent Powerade. We don't represent whatever other endorsements he has. He does. Yeah. When you represent other brands, you do not just represent yourself. You represent the entirety of that brand, yourself, and your family. Mm-hmm. And one thing that most people, especially when it comes to businesses, take serious is their reputation and how they are presented to the masses, because that is what's going to decide what sells and what does not. So the fact that you are putting them in a bad spot to where they cannot promote you, because it's like, what are we promoting to children, that it's okay to flash guns? I grew up in a tough environment. Me and Jay, I mean, I don't know your total upbringing, but I know for me and Jay, coming from Chicago, like, I know what that's like when people flash guns. That ain't nothing to play with.
That's a threat.
You flash a gun where we're from. If you ain't popped it off, you a t-shirt. That's facts.
What's that mean?
Meaning that you dead. Meaning that your face is on the t-shirt. That's what that means. When I say you're a t-shirt, that's what that means. Okay. So if you gonna flash a gun and you don't pop it off, more than likely we bringing flowers to your funeral and we wearing all black. Like, that's what I mean when I say that. You get away with that because you are Ja Morant. So you flashing it, you know what I'm saying, with your friends and everything like that. But you also sending a message to people out there who are looking for a lick.
Yeah.
That you like to play around. See, everybody ain't playing. And you play in Memphis. You flashing guns like that, somebody gonna test that chin and see what you really about.
Yep.
Because you can't keep playing with people. Like, you can't keep presenting like, yeah, I got all this chain, I got all this money, and you know what I'm saying, you flashing these guns and you going off on security guards and beating up 17-year-olds. You gonna play with the right 17-year-old who got an uncle who has nothing to lose. Then what happens? When you can't play in the NBA no more, or we talking about what could have been because we putting you 6 feet under. That's the type of stuff that I think about. And I think that's what the kind of mind frame that he needs to think about too, because like I said, everybody ain't playing.
Right.
Everybody's not playing. So I think 25 games is enough. I think he also, because I'm pretty sure I think he lost at least about 30 or 40 million in the bonuses that he was supposed to get had he met the requirements. He didn't make NBA first team, so he lost money because of that. Like, I hope, because I like Ja. I'm a fan of Ja. I love watching him play. I think he is an electric player who is in the perfect situation to lift that Memphis team. But, baby, I need you to be smarter. You got to be smarter than that. You got to be smarter. You got to I really hope that this is going to be a time where he can sit down and understand you have a lot to live for.
Yeah.
A lot to live for.
he needs to stop being influenced and be an influencer. I just think that.
Oh, that's a bar.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's just he's got so much to lose, and this company he's keeping around him obviously are just not the right type of influence that he needs. So I think he needs to reevaluate who he's hanging out with. I mean, if your boy knows that you got your piece on you, why is he, jumping on Instagram Live exposing you? Like, that's just, I think it's all just them being immature and childish. And I know that he's in his young 20s, but I mean, you just got to hold yourself to a better standard than that. And there's too many people that got eyes on you, especially already serving an 8-game suspension for the same exact thing. Like, you literally just slapped Adam Silvers in the face. You don't want to make your boss upset. And it's just, I thought the 25 games, I think he deserved it. I don't understand why everybody's saying that it's not a big deal. I think it is a big deal. Because as you alluded to, like, you are making yourself a target. There's real thugs out there that are really about that life that would really come and try you. So I think you're putting your head on a silver platter. And I don't know, Ja. Just be smarter, man. I want to see you play. I want to see you continue to be in the NBA and just hopefully maybe lift up a trophy one day. And just really have a successful career, but you're tarnishing it with your off the court shenanigans, and it's an embarrassment to your organization, the people that represent you, all these endorsements that you have. It's just, I don't know. He's losing his own money, so it's like, I don't know. You're self-sabotage to the extreme.
This guy has face of the league potential. Like, he has face of the league potential, like where he can be the next, you know what I'm saying, along the lines he's stupid. Along the lines of the Stephs and the Brons and the KD, like he could Giannis, like Luka, like he can be in that, like he already was in that light, but you can't have both. Like, you gotta pick one. Either you're gonna be the face of the NBA or you're gonna be a rah-rah gangster. Like, cool, if that's what you want to do, but also look at the consequences on the other side of that. There's been plenty of other players that play both sides. They are either in jail, dead, or broke. Those are the three things. None of them have had successful careers outside of that. Go ahead.
I think he's a prime example of what the culture and what the music is influencing these kids to act out of line. I mean,
absolutely.
I need him to find God, man. Like, be a good influence on the community around you. All these people that are looking up to you, just spread positivity. You should
bring in the Bible study, Danny. Right? Bring in the Bible study. Tell him come with you.
I'll say a prayer for him right now. Like, I want the best for Ja. Like, I want to see him have a positive impact on the community, and he is just, I mean, beating up 17-year-olds, acting out in the strip clubs, bringing a weapon into the club, like, and it's just like, you should be better. You're better than this. Like, you're better than this. We all know that you are better than this. You did not grow up in the hood. You did not grow up in that lifestyle. So now all of a sudden you got all these millions of dollars, and now you want to act like you from the streets? Like, come on now. Like, you ain't fooling nobody. You went to a private school growing up. Come on, boy.
Also, as well, I need for the people around him to stop calling him when stuff goes wrong. Ja Morant's mom, baby, listen to me. If you don't listen to nothing else anybody else says, stop calling your son when you get into it with him, because he is the breadwinner. He is the reason why you are in the mansion, in the nice car, in the nice clothes, in the nice shoes. He is the reason. So if you call him and he comes to a situation and he brings a gun and then somebody ends up clapping him, you got to live with that.
Wait, because what happened?
Because there was a situation with the security guard at the mall. She got into it with the
it was his mom's?
Yes, she got into it with a Foot Locker employee, called him, and he came up there starting stuff with the security guard. Same thing with his mom. Yes, same thing with his sister, who had a situation. She got into it with somebody. They call him. He comes up there, throws the phone, breaks the phone. Listen, ain't none of y'all making millions. None of y'all. I'm sorry, and I mean that in the most respectful way I could say it. Ain't none of y'all making millions other than him.
So, don't you have security? Like, don't they have people that?
But why are you calling the person who is providing this lifestyle for you? You guys do not have this millions and these mansions and these cars and these clothes and all this access without him. Somebody at some point got to stop being a yes man and say, look, hey, bro, you wildin', you chill, you need to chill out. Maybe let's not call you when some stuff go wrong. Maybe let's handle it ourselves. Let's not, encourage you to do all the extra shenanigans, because what the problem is he has nobody that's telling him no. He has nobody in his ear that's saying, hey, bro, you chill out. You wilding right now. You don't need to do all this extra stuff. Like, you need to get around some real solid people that's gonna tell you the truth and not what you want to hear. And that's the issue. Like, I don't understand the mindset of I'm gonna call the person who's making all the millions to come handle a problem that's probably not even that serious. Like I said, people are they just
flexing? It just seems like they're kind of flexing. I mean, T. Morant and his dad trying to fight Shannon Sharp too on the side, on court side.
Like, what are you doing? Be a father. Stop being his friend. Be a father. Be a father. Stop being his friend. You guys are not friends. You are father and son. At some point, that line got to be drawn in the sand. I'm your dad, and I'm looking out for your best interest. I'm going to tell you what's right and not what I think you should do, or what I want you to do, because it benefits me and it benefits us. Because what happens when that beneficiary is in the ground? Then what happens?
That'd be so.
You know what I'm saying? Like people don't, they ain't thinking like that. Somebody need to say something. I don't know if he got a grandma or papa or somebody say something.
Someone needs to intervene.
The way it's going, it's not going to end well. I've seen,
and it's like he's got a daughter too. Like, you have a child. Like, you don't,
come on, man.
You were doing not father-like things, like not somebody who has a kid. Like, what is she, like 3 or 4 years old? Like,
she's a young girl.
Come on now. He's being influenced by the wrong people, by the music he's listening to, the people he's surrounding himself with, and it's gonna end him in jail, or like 6 feet under, and that's just like that would be devastating. Listen, but go ahead, Jay Nicole.
No, I agree with both of you wholeheartedly. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing. Everything you said is true. I mean, nothing more I can add to it. It's just a damn shame. It just really is. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, but he gonna have to learn the hard. Some people gotta learn the hard way, apparently.
But this isn't even his first strike. That's the thing. This ain't your first strike. This ain't your second strike. This ain't your third strike.
Like, it's like the 5th or 6th.
Right? Like, how many? Like, okay, so would he be getting the same treatment if he wasn't John Morant? Would the NBA be handling it the same if it was a non-superstar player?
No, but if it was his first offense. I think the fact that he's had multiple cases and they've swept so much under the rug, it's to the point where it's like, dog, we got no choice but to punish you now. Like, we can't not do something, because you've had 4 or 5 other cases prior to, like, lawsuits and all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it would be, like I said, it would be different if this was his first offense. You know what I'm saying? And then they'd be like, okay, we're going to send you a little warning, give you a little couple games here and there, like, get your stuff together. But the fact that this has been over a course of time, and you've met with Adam Silver and promised him that you were going to do things different and be a better person and all of these things of that nature, and then to turn around 2 months later and do the exact same thing.
Crazy.
Like, not even different thing. Yeah, literally.
Right. It's like the exact. You're just like, oh, go ahead.
If I was Adam Silver, I'd be like, yo.
It's almost like you might as well spit in his face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like. That's the only problem. Like, it's one of those things where I don't know if you guys have ever heard the saying, and it's like, after you do something more than once, I can't blame it. We can't pinpoint everybody else. At some point, we got to look at you.
First strike, shame on me, or no? First strike, shame on you. Second strike, shame on me.
Shame on me, because I'm believing that you're gonna be, and you already showed me your card. Like, you already put your cards on the table.
Yeah,
I can only believe what you present.
Yep.
So, y'all get it together.
Time, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on me.
Fool me 3 times. F the peace sign.
Come
on,
J. Cole. Come on, J. Cole.
Come on, role models. That's one of my favorites. And the song is called Role Models. So it's like, you need to be more of a role model.
Maybe Drew, should we send him with J. Cole on a 6-week retreat or something? Like, maybe he need to go Go.
He needs to go to my Bible study. What do you mean?
That part.
Start going to my Bible study.
John, if you listen, and when you see this,
get God, bro.
Go to Ruth the Truth Bible study. She got you.
Yes.
She's gonna take care of you.
Yes, bro. I'll be a good influence. I promise. I'll speak the truth always. Ladies, that was dope. Yes. I'm glad that we got that out of the way because I didn't get to speak on that topic with you ladies, and that was something that's been kind of. I don't know if you guys saw my post on Instagram, but I'm just like, I'm sad. Yeah. I'm sad. Like I really don't want to be talking about this kind of thing. Like this is just it's unnecessary, job. Like we should be talking about you hooping and you being a great inspiration to the community and the younger kids, and it's just the exact opposite. And I mean, now we got to suffer and not see him play for 25 games. And how is that going to affect the Grizzlies, who just moved on from Dylan Brooks? Maybe that's why they went and got a Marcus Smart, because they got to fill some voids now because Ja's not going to be around, and who knows if he's coming back. Because I mean, like one of my Facebook followers was just like, I don't trust the fact that he's going to be away from the game for 25 games. I think that's going to cause more harm than good for him not to be playing basketball. I think basketball would keep him focused. No basketball is going to keep him out doing hoodlum stuff. So, I don't know.
Yes, indeed. We praying for you, John. We hoping that you this is tough love. Like we not against you. We wish you. We just want you to do better and to improve. But that will wrap up another episode of the Sports Senseis with my good sisters, Ruth the Truth and Jay Nicole. I'm so glad that we are back and we were able to provide you guys.
That was a fire show.
Man, this show was amazing. Like
we had a lot of comments. Shout out to Dylan, Leanne. We had Zach on here, Livewire Sports Entertainment. Appreciate all the feedback. Jay, you're one of our. Thank you. We appreciate you guys so much. And I had fun. Thanks for making this happen, ladies.
Yeah. Definitely. We got to tap in again next week. We got to get back into the flow of things because NFL season is getting ready to start, as well as college basketball, college football, as well as NBA stuff. So all these WNBA is still going on right now. So all these things we have to report on. So we will be here to give you guys the freshest news. Ruth the Truth, do you have anything coming up, or tell the people that they can follow you, where they can find you, what's going on with you, my girl?
Absolutely. My radio show is really, really making some moves. I'm going to have a special guest coming into the studio this Sunday, so catch me on The Moment of Truth with Ruth on 102.5 The Bone. I'll be doing a live stream off of Instagram and Facebook, The Moment of Truth, and I just made a YouTube channel as well, so give me a subscription on The Moment of Truth with Ruth. Trying to make some things happen, and just follow me on IG. That's where I'll be posting most of my content. It's Ruth the Truth with the number 1 at the end. And thank you ladies so much for giving me the platform.
Yes, indeed. And Jay Nicole, how about you? Go ahead.
Just follow me at Jay Nicole. I'm excited to get back with you, ladies. I missed y'all. I know our time zones.
We're in 3 different time zones, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, give us grace, because we are literally on different sides of the world. Okay.
So I'm on East Coast. Then we got Jay Nicole, your Mountain Time, right? Central, and then we got Mountain Time over here. West Coast. What is that? Mountain Time?
PST.
Pacific
Standard
Time. Pacific.
So, 3 different. So it's tough.
We're trying to make
it happen. We got together.
All right, ladies. Till next time.
Yes. Have a great night, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into Sports Sensei. We'll be back sometime next week. We're going to lock in a text message and make sure that we delivering something for y'all at least once a week. Heading down. So make sure y'all check us out. And of course, you can find me at Sensei_33 on Instagram and From the Ground Up on anywhere that you find podcasts. But we out this thing. Y'all have a great night.
Good night.